Hello and welcome to our video on adding an inventory item to a job. If you haven't watched our previous videos, I really recommend you do so because these videos definitely build on each other from one to the next. In the previous video, we went over how to add an inventory item to a task, and we talked about the appropriate time to do so. When to add an inventory to a task and when to add an inventory to a job or a quote. And I'll reiterate that here again. If you have a lot of variation from job to job on an inventory item, so in this scenario we're saying a tire shop, you're not going to have every guy, unless you're just selling one tire and you're like, hey, I sell this tire and that's the only thing I sell. Then good on you, way to go. But in reality, most likely, you've got hundreds of different tires, and, one guy's saying, hey, I want some LT truck tires, some other person saying, hey, I want some low pro, street race tires, whatever it may be. And so going through and adding those in the task really just doesn't make sense. And from job to job, there's a lot of variation. This guy wants one thing, this guy wants another thing. And so in that scenario, you want to add the inventory items to the individual job, or if you're making a quote for somebody, you're going to want to add that to the quote. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add this to a job, and that's what this video is going to be a focus on. So we're over here. If we look under our operations on our navigation menu, where you've clicked on jobs, and that's given us our job list. I've only got one job here, which makes it nice and easy. I'm going to come over here, and there is the number 1. I'm going to click on that, and that is going to pull up our job that we've made. If I come down here and take a look, you can see that I've got a department is my shop, my process ID is I just put work, and my task is tire install. And I come down here and I've got an inventory name, and I've got a few different inventory items that I've brought in with my tire install. And this pulled in automatically from our task. If you watched the previous video, we added these items into this task, and that's why they pulled in automatically. If I come over here though, and let's just close this, and it's going to ask, say, hey, are you sure you want to remove this from the item? It's going to remove this and any child items too. I'm going to say, okay, that's fine. And you can see that because it removed both of those, and the reason for that is because if you watch our previous videos, you understand the difference, what a child item is. And if you remove a parent, it also automatically removes a child item, and that's why both of those disappeared. But now we're back to where we need to be, and we've got our tire install. And so now, at this point, I've got a tire, and this job's for Bob. And Bob's like, I want some 37 BFGs. So we're going to add this guy some 37 BFGs. We're going to come over here. We're going to select our item, and we're going to select our tires, and we're going to go ahead and hit done. And you can see that it's brought over the tire, and it's brought over the child item as well, the valve stems. And it's just that easy. Down here we've got our alignment. In the previous video you saw, we did not have any inventory items for that. But we talked about, like possibly like a kit, like a alignment cam kit or something like that you use for alignments. If you had that, you could come and add that. If there's a specific thing that they needed that's unique to this particular alignment for this particular car, you could come and select that, and you're able to click on that and add that item right there. And so that is, it's very simple. It's very easy to add inventory items to our job. And again, if you've got a lot of variability between your jobs on your inventory items, this is the place to do so. Now, the very best place, because if you look at this, you see a lot of NA. The very best place to do this would actually be in the quotes, because then you've got a price, you've got an estimated quantity, and all that stuff, and that's when you can really get some really good costing, is when you've got an estimate and you've got your actual, and that's going to help you price better and help you quote better. But if you're just saying, hey, you know what, I just got a job and I need to add some inventory, this is how you do it. It takes 2 seconds. Very simple, very easy. When your guys go and they clock into this task of tire install, when they end that task, it's going to ask them and say, hey, how many tires you put on? You're going to put that into there, and boom, it's going to show up. And on this job screen, anytime they clock in and out and they add that inventory, you're able to jump over to your inventory used tab, and you're going to see the inventory that was used on this job, who did it, the quantity they did it, and the date and time that they did it. And so hopefully this gave you a better insight into how you add inventory items to a job. And stay with us and check out our next video that's going to be how to add inventory items to a quote.